So I was going through some audio cassettes today. These are something that my dad picked up at a garage sale. The nice thing about audio cassettes in this day and age is that they seem to be insufficiently appreciated as compared to turntable records and CDs and things like that. Because if you're persuasive enough, or if you just wait long enough, or even if you're just a nice enough guy, a lot of times you can walk away with a whole pile of cassettes like this for very little money or even nothing. And there's a lot of good stuff in here. Not all of it's my personal taste in music, but the person who owned these tapes was into a lot of classical stuff from all the popular composers of the times. There's a Beethoven tape, and there's a bunch of others in here. A lot of them labeled as the 75 tape group. I don't really know what that means. It must have been some kind of an organizational thing or something, but there's even one in here that was brand new. But there's one entry in here that was perhaps unintentionally so, but nevertheless it was hilarious. I present for your viewing pleasure. I've seen a lot of goofy names printed on cassettes, you know, most of them cheap knockoff things, but this one has to take the cake. This is just great. This is, I present for your viewing pleasure, the Screamer audio cassette. Yes, complete with a Screamer spelled S-C-R-E-A-M ''R and set in a font that makes it look like it was in the middle of an earthquake. And while I didn't immediately figure this out, when the tape is in its case like this, it actually makes up a face. You know, here are the two eyes, has pink eyebrows, a nose, and for something that's a Screamer, it has a very little mouth. It's not what you'd expect to find. But perhaps the funniest thing about this tape is it's actually from a very well-respected manufacturer. That's right, no joke. It's a 3M cassette. Your music should sound this big. It says, presenting the Screamer audio cassette, a different tape with a face of its own. Made for the music you like to hear the way you like to hear it. Offering clear, sharp recordings and long-lasting quality. And then over here we have a highly precise graph that shows how big Screamer sounds. And we have the aptly named Cheapo over here, although I've never seen a cassette branded that. And then we have Screamer showing a much higher and lower volume range than Cheapo. And of course the recommended usage for this normal bias cassette is everything. So you know that no matter what you're recording, even if it's quiet music, this is good for it. And as you can see, this cassette dates from the early 1990s because here's a manufacturer's coupon to save a whopping 35 cents on Scotch Screamer audio cassettes. Interestingly, these were made in Korea, which may be good, may be bad. A lot of good things came out of Korea. Invariably some cheaper and more dubious ones as well. So I don't know. But nevertheless, an interesting branding. There's actually a homemade recording on this tape of probably somebody's school play or something like that. I have no idea. It's really not a very good recording. But nevertheless, it's kind of an interesting find, and definitely an unusual brand for a cassette. And I just thought I would share that with all of you. So there you have it, the Scotch 3M Screamer. Woohoo!